G'day guys, Mac with the Outer Circle. Happy Friday, by the way. Today we're going to be looking at the regional pricing. So 3 years ago, just under 3 years ago, Forge World changed their business model. They went from being a company that sold you goods in pounds, and you just converted the currency, to a company which had fixed pricing for every region around the world. And the way they sold this to us as a company was better service, faster shipping. Okay. Well, how has that panned out over those years? So I asked the question. I'll read it verbatim from the screen because not everyone actually watches the videos. A lot of people listen to the videos. So the question I asked was, I want to know two things. How much do people spend per annum with Forge World before and after regional pricing? If people didn't feel comfortable with an actual dollars amount, just post a percentage or such, and only that info. E.g., I used to spend $100 a month, but now with the changes for faster shipping, I spend $200 per month because better service, faster shipping, if they bought into it. Or, I spend half of what I used to because they blatantly increased prices in my country with no legal or financial justification, whilst rorting the VAT off me for years when I don't even live in the EU. So, what were the responses? Well, I want to qualify this a little bit first. People who come to this channel are more than likely going to already have some sort of agreement with my general views, or they wouldn't be subscribers on this channel, which means it's going to be skewed and biased in my direction. So I asked this very same thing verbatim on Facebook on several different pages, so I could get a little bit wider of a look at things. Even then, it was almost shocking the amount that people were basically saying, screw Forge World. So, yeah, I'd say it probably backfired as a business move. Now, there are going to be certain things that people do still buy legitimately from Forge World. But I'm guessing that a lot of people have moved to Recast, judging from the comments. And I won't scroll down and show them on screen now. But if you go onto the community page on the Outer Circle's YouTube, you can scroll down, just have a read through some of these comments, because between YouTube, Facebook, I got probably about 800 total comments. I think it was 38 of them out of 800 were positive, as in, yeah, no, I'm fine with the regional price changes. And almost all of those were located in the UK/Europe, who the regional pricing didn't even affect. So, at the time when it happened, I launched a petition over here on change.org, which you can see is at just under 9,000 people. And I gave some examples of the price changes. So, literally overnight, things like the Spartan went from 210 Australian dollars, direct currency conversion rate, and that was quite generous to the British pound too. Spartan went up by $50. Anarchus Scoria was $140, he went up to $190. Perturabo, Primarch of the Iron Warriors, went from 120 Australian dollars to 170 Australian dollars. The Leviathan's body alone went from $80 to $110. Now, people will say things like, okay, taxes, shipping, blah, 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 blah. Well, here's the thing. We pay the shipping, not Forge World, until we spend so much with them that we hit the free shipping cap. And by the time you've hit the free shipping cap, you've got to remember, they're already making a fair chunk of profit. It's not costing them money to ship it to you at that point. It's just not a problem for them, because they've made so much money off you that the shipping is meaningless. Now, taxes. People will bring up taxes. Well, you got to remember, the British price that's listed for an item, such as the Cerastus Knight Castigator on screen at £185, that includes a 20% VAT. That is actually higher than the goods and services tax in Australia and the import tariff, which wouldn't actually apply to a model so cheap. We'd only be paying GST here. GST is only 10%. So, before you even, as I've explained in many videos, before you can even do a proper currency conversion, you have to take 20% off the price to remove the British taxes. Then you can transfer it into my currency and then add 10% for our taxes. And that's how you approximately get the correct cost of it. And you've got to remember, Forge World models are produced in the UK. They're bought by people all around the world, yes, although there are a fair few models produced in China. I'm not referring to recast. I mean, there are actual legitimate models produced in China. And many people in America have sent me pictures of their models they've received with made in China all over the boxes. Just an interesting side note. Anyway, whenever you look into this stuff, people will come up with any number of excuses for these things, but it is truly shocking. And I'm going to give you a couple of examples of things that just make no sense now. So here are transfers. Transfers are one of those things that people still will go to Forge World for. I use these as an example because they're the common one that people show off. They say, hey, transfers are one of those books are the things I still go to Forge World legitimately for. Okay, well, let's look at them. £20, £20, £20. Across the board, they're all £20. Now, keeping in mind, this is with a 20% VAT. So really, the price is, give or take, around 16-ish pounds, something like that off the top of my head. Actually, slightly more. But say 16 pounds. Well, then we go over to Australia, and they're $40. Well, a quick currency converter here, $40 is actually £22 sterling. So 40 Australian dollars, you could say that with GST, it's 40, so you're probably looking at around a $36, $37, something like that. Not even. It's 10%. It'd be, in fact, I'll do the math. It'd be $3.63 cheaper before tax. So it's about £6 difference just on that item. And this is an item that, it's not made in Australia. It has nothing to do with our wages or our earnings. We're not paying Games Workshop staff in Australia, in a Games Workshop warehouse in Australia to do this. This is all coming direct from the UK. It doesn't matter whether the UK guy has to put it in an envelope and send it to Australia or whether he has to send it to America, Britain. Doesn't matter. It's one guy putting one thing in an envelope. All that's changing on it is the postage cost. So there's no need for them to be different prices regionally, except Games Workshop has decided on a very favourable exchange rate. Well, okay, £20 here, $40 in Australia. Okay, fine, it is what it is. But then you get down somewhere at the Dark Angels, 55 Australian dollars. Well, what's that in currency conversion? £30 and 28. Okay, well, what's it in the UK? Is the Dark Angels a different... No, Dark Angels is £20 still in the UK. So for some reason, a transfer sheet that costs the same as other transfer sheets in the UK costs 50% more in Australia. Why? Now, I don't mean to harp on price here too much, guys, but can you not see this is just a teensy, tiny little bit fucked up? There is no excuse for this. This is just blatantly Forge World thinks they can get away with it, so they're doing it. Games Workshop PLC, whatever. And this petition, keep in mind, 8,828 people. That is not an insignificant amount of people. Do you think there was a single response from Games Workshop Incorporated when I approached them with this? The petition was sent to them. It was sent to the marketing department, sent to Games Workshop Australia, Games Workshop UK, Games Workshop America. Not a single one of them, not even automated response to say, yes, we've got it, and someone will get back to you, anything like that. None of that. So just something to note there. As you can see, this is just a horrible, horrible way of treating the consumer. And in fact, consumer is the wrong word. We're not a consumer. We don't mindlessly eat what we're given, We're the customer. We're the person who has to be pleased by the product. You see, the way the exchange works between the company and the customer is they have a product. If we want the product, we agree to exchange money for it. If the company gets too greedy and sets too high a price, we tell them to get stuffed. Well, in this case, it's made even more complicated because things like recasting exists, as we've spoken about before. And I'm not giving the justification for recast here, but I want the company to try and see it from the customer's point of view. If you have a product, such as, a character series model, and that character series model is 4 times cheaper from a recaster, it's going to come in less than 2 weeks, usually about 8 days, and it's going to be equal quality. And that's what people often say, oh, recasts are terrible quality. No. They are really, really not. I have demonstrated this before in a video as just an opinion piece. Where does that leave the business model for the company? You catch more flies with honey. Why don't you drop the prices down, give us a fair exchange rate, and give us at the very least, a consistent exchange rate? There is no reason why all the transfer sheets are the exact same price in the UK, but then when I come over to Australia, I've got 1, 2, 3 transfer sheets that are 50% more. Well, why? Why? There's no need for that. The only thing I can think of is arbitrary greed. So, regional pricing, as it stands, 3 years on, nobody seems to be buying from them except people who live in the UK directly, or people who have no idea where to get third-party miniatures from. It's how I'll refer to them. And it's a real shame. I'm personally just about out of all the miniatures that I bought. I bought so many miniatures in 2013. I bought enough to basically build my Raven Guard Legion, my Iron Warriors, and a heap of spare stuff, and a lot of stuff that's now out of production. Which has made up also my Black Shields army. In 2014, I bought a lot of stuff for my Solar Auxilia. And then in 2016, maybe 2017, I bought, it would have been 2017, 2 boxes of Betrayal Caliph and a box of Burning of Prospero, and 60 upgrade sets for my Thousand Suns. Video is actually on this channel that shows all of that arriving from Forge World and unboxings and looking at the Mastodon, all that sort of stuff. Because I bought a legit Mastodon. Well, that's gone. I have not spent money like that with them since this. And even if I was to buy these sheets today, if I was to add these to my cart, I'd still be paying shipping for them. You know, on top of all that, and the shipping is not cheap, because they've set sort of fixed rates of shipping. So, yeah, it's not good. It's not good for the customer, and like I said, if people don't believe me, again, it's going to be biased. The people who are watching this channel are generally going to agree with my opinions. Generally. But you go down and look through the comments on this video, and it's just constantly people saying, nah, I don't care. I don't agree with their regional pricing, and all I buy from them is books and transfers. That's pretty much all people say. So something is wrong here. Something is very, very wrong here. And it's got to be just the UK at this point, maybe Europe, that's providing most of the finance to Forge World. And that probably explains a lot of why we're getting so little out of Forge World, especially heresy-related stuff. No one's going to them and buying it. Because we're not buying it, they're not supporting it. It's more complicated than that, I'm sure. It's probably, they're probably also thinking to themselves, like, not just the fact that nobody's buying it, but they've got other priorities. It could be a host of factors, but the reason people aren't buying is because they've simply outpriced the market's demand for it. The market can go to other places, and people have to get over the hurdle. I'm not going to say whether it's right or wrong legally. I don't know, I'm not condoning recasts here, but people have to remember, like, okay, Games Workshop's models get recast. It's no different to what happens to cars. Car parts are made copies of all the time. Anything you can think of for a car, someone else makes a copy of it, no matter what your patents say. And all those companies have managed to make do and live with it without becoming 4, 6, 8, 10 times more expensive. Games Workshop needs to look at it. Also, one last little thing, there's actually a chat box on the UK website. You can actually talk to them at Forge World. It just randomly popped up on me when I was getting ready to record this video. We don't have that in Australia. There's no little chat box down that right-hand side. Even though this is the time of night where all the Forge World staff are in, and I could probably talk to them. No. Anyway, as I say, regional pricing, it's still a clusterfuck. Games Workshop / Forge World and their marketing department, who made this decision, yeah, what a terrible business decision. I'm sure it made you lots of short-term profit, especially with all those last chance to buys and such that you did, but it's probably not working out too well for you now, is it? Well, it could be wrong. Anyway, I'm Mac with the Outer Circle. Please let me know what you think. The Forge-World regional pricing, do you think it was the right thing to do? Can anyone actually explain to me, especially someone who knows someone there or who actually works there, why there's a price discrepancy between these transfer sheets for Australia? Beyond the, we just could. I'd really love to know. See you all next time.